Think about the areas of your life that don't feel right. The jobs that keep having the same problems even though you've changed companies. The friendships that always seem to end the same way even though the people are completely different. The relationships that start with so much promise and somehow always land in the same place. You've probably blamed the circumstances, either the company, the people, the situation. But what if it was never about any of them? What if the one thing every single situation had in common was you? Not saying this as a criticism, but as the most important thing you'll ever notice about yourself. The pattern doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up all at once. It reveals itself in layers, and the layers always move from the outside in. It starts furthest from the heart. For example, work. Maybe you're someone who gives everything to the job. You go above and beyond, you work harder than anyone around you, and somehow, despite doing everything right, the same problems keep surfacing. The same type of dynamics, the same feeling of giving more than you get back. And yet, no matter where you go or who you're with, something always feels the same. And you think, it can't be me. I work efficiently, I show up, I do more than what's asked. But that's exactly the pattern hiding itself. For me, it was perfectionism. I went above and beyond without realizing what it was creating around me. My coworkers felt insecure, like they weren't doing enough. So small issues would start to surface, things designed to make it look like I didn't know what I was doing. And over time, as I got used to what I was contributing, their expectations would rise. They started to rely on it, and the moment those expectations weren't met, I got called out and everything I had after everything I had done. I had no idea I was creating any of it. Then the pattern moved closer into relationships. Think about your closest friends. Have they tended to carry a certain kind of heaviness? Have you found yourself being the one who's always uplifting, supporting, and gives energy while getting very little of that back? I always became friends with people I felt I needed to make happy. I wanted to uplift them, give them my energy, make them feel good about themselves. But it was never really reciprocated. And underneath it, there was always this quiet competition. Like my natural way of showing up made people around me feel like they had to keep up somehow. I never understood it then, but I do understand it now. I had learned to make someone impossible to please feel better, and I kept choosing people who needed exactly that from me, because that was what was familiar. And then the pattern moved all the way in, to the relationships closest to the wound, the romantic ones. This layer took the longest for me to see, because love is the hardest place to be objective. When I looked honestly, every significant relationship followed the same arc. I chose men who had a lot going on, who needed emotional support to keep going. I was there for that, fully. I showed up the way I always showed up. But when I went through my own challenges, they never had the capacity to give it back. Not once. And I kept choosing that over and over. Not because I was unlucky, because that dynamic felt like love. Giving more than you receive, being the one who shows up, holding someone else together. That's what I had been taught love looked like. Whether it was work, friendships, or relationships, the feeling underneath it was always the same. I was giving more than I received, showing up for everyone, coming last in my own life. And that's what makes the pattern so hard to see. It's not a conscious choice. You're not sitting down and deciding, I'd like the same painful dynamic again, please. The subconscious is making the selection before your conscious mind even gets involved. It scans for what feels familiar, what matches the frequency of what you already believe about yourself, and it draws those people and situations toward you automatically. And that's not a weakness, that's just how energy works. You attract what you haven't yet healed. That's when it clicked for me. Not all at once. It was just quiet and undeniable, but the full picture came together. I was the pattern. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. But what followed was also something I didn't expect. It was relief, because it all made sense now. The apathy I sometimes felt around people, the quiet resentment underneath the giving, the way everything felt conditional and surface level, even when I genuinely cared. It wasn't them, it was a dynamic I kept creating. The same belief playing itself out in every relationship I had ever chosen. And the moment I understood that, I didn't have to feel guilty anymore. Not for the distance I had created, not for the relationships I had let go, not for any of it. It made sense now, and I knew I was going to be okay. So before I leave you with this, I want to say something directly. Seeing yourself as a pattern doesn't mean you were wrong or broken or doing anything badly. It just means you were human. Running on programming you were given before you had any choice in the matter. The pattern wasn't a flaw, it was a faithful reflection of what you believed. And now you know. Knowing changes everything. So sit with this. Look at the area of your life that keeps repeating. Whether it's a job, the friendship, or the relationship, ask yourself what is the one feeling that's always the same no matter who the person is or where the situation is. That feeling is a pattern, and the pattern always points back to a belief. You find the belief, and everything begins to change. Nobody told me I was a pattern, and now I'm telling you. So, hey, don't go anywhere. This journey is just getting started. What's on the other side of all of this is something I couldn't have put into words back then, but I'm living it now, and it's available to you too. You've been listening to Nobody Told Me, and if you made it to the end, thank you. Like, subscribe, and I'll be back with more.